Hi, my name is Brooke and I was born with Pfeiffer syndrome. I don't know very many people who even know what Pfeiffer syndrome is, so I am here to tell you. Throughout this video, I can only speak for myself. I have type 2 Pfeiffer syndrome, but even though I've met other people my age who have type 2, we're all very different. So I do want to say that how I live my life could be super different than how other people with Pfeiffer syndrome live their life. And you might hear my dogs throughout this video as well. For starters, I was born in 1996, and at the time, Pfeiffer was only 1 in every 500,000. I believe that now it's 1 in every 100,000, so it seems to be getting a little bit more common. What Pfeiffer syndrome is it is the premature fusion of the bones and joints. So when I was born with no soft spots. You know how babies are supposed to have soft spots in their head? I was born with none. My skull was completely closed. I'm also a little sick if I sound out of breath, but I really wanted to make this video. So being born with no soft spots, that is the first thing that the doctors had to do, was go in and create soft spots so that my brain could continue to grow. Because obviously as a newborn, my brain is not fully developed. I do still have those soft spots. To this day, I chose not to get those like closed with a plate or anything. Was that a mistake? Probably, but I'm out here living my life, so I think if I played intense sports, I would get that fixed. Because I was born with Pfeiffer syndrome, I also have hearing loss, hydrocephalus, and my arms are fused, which causes me to be considered disabled. There's a lot that I can't do. I can barely use this arm at all just because of the limited mobility that I have. That is one thing that I really wish I could change about myself, is the ability to be able to bend my elbows, because I cannot do very, very simple things like put my hair up, braid my hair. I can barely wash my face. I have figured out how to wash my hair and how to straighten my hair and how to curl my hair, but it needs to be long in order for me to be able to do those things. So having long hair is very crucial to my mobility. I ended up cutting my hair into a bob a couple of years ago, and that was it last year? It was last year. I don't know. I cut my hair into a bob, and that was one of the worst mistakes I ever made because I forgot that my hair needs to be long in order for me to be able to do it. So that was the whole thing that I went through. I only know a small handful of people, like I've only met a small handful of people in real life that have Pfeiffer syndrome, and they're the most kind people. But thank you to social media, because I have been able to meet a lot of different people all over the world that have not just Pfeiffer syndrome, but craniofacial disorders like Apert or Cruzons, or you know, there are so many, but it's really cool to have such a good community full of people who have facial differences. I love it. I want to talk a little bit about my childhood as someone who had Pfeiffer syndrome. I had a really wonderful childhood, and I'm very fortunate to be able to say that. Not many people can say that they weren't bullied very often. I had a really good group of friends pretty much in all stages of my life. The only time I was kind of really lacking in friends is when I moved for 5th and 6th grade. That was a little bit of a struggle for me, but no, I was never really bullied to my face. If I was bullied, they didn't really involve me in that, which is fine. But it would have been really cool to have had social media growing up and to have been able to connect with other people who have facial differences. That is something I did not have. I was craving to find people like me and to be around people like me, but I just couldn't find that. I didn't know that there were communities out there. I didn't know that there were like support groups out there. I didn't know that there were conventions like the Cranial Facial Kids Convention. I didn't know that things like that existed. And I wish I had, because I would have been a part of it. I think the one area that I did not thrive in, well, really two areas that I really did not thrive in my childhood as someone living with Pfeiffer syndrome is romantic relationships and sports. Romantic relationships, I never had a boyfriend. Boys didn't want to date me. I did not have my first relationship until I was 18. and I practically had to go out and get that myself. I don't think the guy would have come to me first if I hadn't been brazen enough to approach him and you know, strike up a relationship. So that is something, you know, at 16, my friends were dating boys and going on first dates, and I just wasn't doing that. But if you can be patient, it is okay. I had plenty of experience after high school to date. Too much experience. My parents raised me to be super independent and to not really even acknowledge the fact that I have a difference. I tried everything. I tried karate and I tried gymnastics and I tried softball, but all of these things were things that I were not able to do because of my limitations and my mobility and my fragility. But I still tried. You were not gonna tell me no until I could see for myself that I couldn't do it. I'm very stubborn. I've always been very stubborn. If I wanna do something, I'm gonna do it. And if I fail, then I fail. But I need to see that for myself. And I've always been that kind of person. I know my husband definitely thinks that I'm very stubborn. It's one thing he says that I am is stubborn. I don't think I would change being born with Pfeiffer, but I don't think I'm going to have a child simply because there's too much of a risk of them being born with Pfeiffer. And at this stage of my life, that is not something that I'm ready for. I think my mom and my dad were both incredible to raise a child with special needs, but that is something I really feel like I would struggle with just because, I don't know, I'm so young and I don't know what I want and I'm just scared and I'm not ready for that right now at all. I do wear hearing aids. I wear the cochlear implants because along with the bone fusion, my ear canals were fused when I was born. So sound waves can't really travel into my ears. I do wear hearing aids. I'm like 80% deaf. You have to be talking as loud as a lawnmower for me to be able to hear you. I'm trying to think of questions that I get asked on TikTok about Pfeiffer syndrome, but one question I get asked a lot is it painful? Am I in pain? I would say overall, no. But I do suffer from like chronic pain because of all of the fusions and all of the surgeries and just head trauma. But overall, I don't think it's intolerable. It's manageable for sure. I just wanted to share a little bit about myself and about Pfeiffer syndrome. And if you have any specific questions, you're more than welcome to leave them in the comments. But that's who I am. I'm Brooke. And I'm 27 and I'm out here living my life with Pfeiffer syndrome. And I said this before, but I would have loved somebody like me to be watching on YouTube when they're also someone living with Pfeiffer syndrome. Maybe you're younger, maybe, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video.